You're listening to WeDeepen Media.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deepen with Christina. I'm your host, Christina Weber, founder of WeDeepen, Feminine Weapon, and also a certified professional love coach for people who want to put a little skip, a little bit more joy into the dating process. So this podcast, I have committed to putting out an episode weekly. And I schedule some episodes to be interview format with people who inspire me or are facilitators of the experiences that are represented at WeDeepen.com. And also, relationship, quote unquote, gurus, thought leaders, people who I want to dive into a particular topic that's happening with me. And this week, this episode is a solo episode. It's just me. And I'm recording here on a Friday before 4th of July weekend from Miami. I just moved to Miami. I moved last week. I've been exploring a new relationship. Some of you have heard a little bit about that, and moved in with him on Friday and moved out on Monday. So I am in a healing contemplation process to understand my experience, my patterns. And the last thing that I want to do is record this show right now. However, I have a commitment to do so. So in this episode, I'm going to give you an update on WeDeepen. Share a little. I'm going to move to Austin. That's where I'm going next. And then I want to discuss the 4 pillars of a conscious relationship. It's an article that I discovered years ago by Shelley Ballard. And I want to go through those 4 pillars because it is so true to me that these pillars are essentially the values that I would like to have injected into my romantic relationships moving forward. And I say romantic relationships, intimate relationships, I mean nearly every relationship moving forward. So first off, if you go to WeDeepen.com and you click on the calendar, you will see a new platform. We have a new system, and it's currently in its MVP form. If you're not sure what an MVP is, it's startup lingo for most viable product. And we've launched the system, which will give, I don't want to use that word, users, participants, the ability to log in, link to purchase their tickets and promo codes. And I am going to continue, the team and I are going to continue curating the most impactful social and transformational experiences that, when woven together and when you're journeying through them, you'll be able to access greater love inside of you and all around, greater connection, exploration of who you are as an individual, or what I like to call self-discovery. It gives you those reflections to see who you really are, your unique gifts, and bond more deeply with other people, feel the sense of community. And whether you're in a relationship or not, you never know who you're going to meet. So within this new calendar system, which is that MVP, there is also going to be spaces, private spaces for us as a community to dive into. And also there's a membership directory. So I like to think of this, of WeDeepen, as, we saw over years this trend of the fall of the guru. And also, one modality isn't, similar to how one person can't be your one all in everything, the one. One modality isn't going to heal you. You can discover meditation as well as sound healing, to authentic relating, yoga, all types of, even like religion. I like to almost think of if religion had a class pass, this is essentially what that is. So check it out. Go to WeDeepen.com. You'll see it. And we're going to continue to populate that calendar with, festivals, workshops, all different various locations throughout the United States as of now, although Tantra Speed Date is in London. So you will see some of those experiences happening even beyond the United States. The Biohacking Conference. So that conference is coming up in September. And as you may have heard, I and WeDeepen are going to be leading a singles event at the Biohacking Conference. Like, whoa, amazing. It's revolutionary. 2,000 biohackers. And out of those 2,000 biohackers, 200 of them are going to have the opportunity to join us for a dating experience. And I am working with the America's hottest dating experiences, Hum Conscious Dating Salon, Deeper Dating with Ken Page, as well as Tantra Speed Date, to extract the best activities for connection and bringing them to the Biohacking Conference. Dave Asprey, to shout out to you to have the vision to see that we do need to include within, as being entrepreneurs and being those who are advancing society, to remember to include the skills and the introductions for intimate relationships. We oftentimes forget to include that curriculum in our school educational curriculums, as well as in the professional space. So super stoked to be doing that. Again, the Biohacking Conference, it's the 8th annual one. It's at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills, September 15th through the 17th. And the singles event will be the evening of Friday, September 16th. So definitely check that out. You can see that at WeDeepen.com as well. So yeah, moving to Austin, I as I'm here in Miami, I'm looking out at the beach, so blessed that, as I was exiting the relationship, and there might be a future episode that I give you a little bit more insight into my own personal story and what happened within that relationship. I'm in my own exploration of that right now in the moment, and don't feel that right now is the time to share because I'm still unpacking that experience. I can say that I am, I teeter-totter back and forth between like proud of leaving when I felt that it wasn't the right thing for me, but there's also something inside of me that wishes I had maybe known some things that I'm discovering now, and that would have created a little bit more of a different experience for the two of us. But God is divine. I followed my intuition, and that's what led me out. And so I'm here now at my bonus mom's house. My father was married to my bonus mom in relationship with her for about 15 years. And they separated a few years ago, and her and I have maintained this close bond. And she has this beautiful condo on the beach in Miami. I'm sitting outside. I'm looking at the waves right now and feeling so much in just love and in support through this transition. And a friend of mine, Rahul, if you've heard of the Alpaca Playhouse in Austin, Texas, I'm going to head there and stay in Austin. There has been a big trend, many of my friends moving from the Los Angeles area and other places to Austin, Texas. There's, I guess, the conscious community scene is on the rise. So I'm going to go check it out, stay a few months. Rahul is also an advisor of WeDeepen, so it's perfect to feel nourished inside of that house. We also can host events and experiences there, so I'm super stoked by that. And what I wanted to share with you all today is go deeper into this, this article by Shelley Ballard. I discovered it a few years ago, and these 4 principles of a conscious relationship have really been a framework of how I think of how I want to be in relationship. So the 4 pillars are our values are: number 1, the conscious couple is not attached to the outcome of the relationship. Growth comes first. Number 2, each person in the relationship is committed to owning their own shit. 3, all feelings are welcome and no internal process is condemned. 4, the relationship is a place to practice love. So let's dive into these one by one. First, the conscious couple is not attached to the outcome of the relationship. Growth comes first. Now, this principle doesn't mean that you don't fantasize about how the relationship will play out. I am somebody who I would love to create family and have children one day. So when I am embarking in a new connection that I am excited by, of course, I fantasize about a life together with this human being and all the things that we can do and the places that we can go. And it's not to stop those fantasies from happening, but it's also about realizing that for me personally, that I am more committed to growth and the lessons learned than I am into the attachment of this person being the one. And when I say too that I am personally interested in creating family, I'm also, I would love to experience that till death do us part love. Call me a hopeless romantic, but I have seen it. I've chosen relationship role models, Gay and Katie Hendricks, among others, Miriam and Richie Kudrow from Dance Alive. So there are people that I have spotted that have the relationship, this quote unquote death do us part relationship. And I believe it's possible. However, I also, growth comes first. I have a purpose. WeDeepen, I feel a strong sense of purpose in my work. And I know that my health and environment, or my health is dependent on my environment to some extent. And sort of like having children, I'm very protective of my energy because I need to be able to have the energy, the enthusiasm to invest in WeDeepen. And if I feel as though that is being jeopardized, then my growth has been stunted in this connection. And it's stunted. It stunts our growth together. It stunts my personal growth. It stunts the collective growth. So growth comes first. And I hope to be in a relationship for me personally where we're doing the work together, all that self-growth work. One of my mentors, Dr. Sarah Nazaratum, had shared with me that when in relationship, if one partner is doing something that they believe is changing them, whether it is a book that they've read or an experience that they've had, maybe it's even a plant ceremony that they've partook in, that they go and invite that other partner and say, hey, I'm changing and growing and I want you to come too. So this number 2, each person in the relationship is committing to own their own shit. Conscious couples know that we all have wounds from the past, and they understand these wounds will inevitably be triggered, especially in relationship. The partners are going to feel abandoned, trapped, rejected, overlooked, and other shitty feelings that arise when we bond closely with another person. Now, it's the thing is that those feelings that are happening to you are your own internal process, and you get to own them and not blame the other person for what you're feeling and experiencing. Now you can speak to them and say, hey, when you did X, Y, and Z, I felt this way and I would prefer if this could be done. So you're sharing that experience with the other person, but you're not making them responsible for your own feelings. And I think this is also really where communication is so important to share. I give major props to anybody who is able to participate in polyamorous relationships in a healthy manner, because being able to communicate with more than one person what you're experiencing, to me, it seems like a lot of energy. But it's also just that communication is super important, and for two people to have the ability to make the time and space for it. And specifically in the current environment, with as we continue to see a lot of the world's evils just revealed all around us. So this number 3, all feelings are welcome and no internal process is condemned. No internal process is condemned. So that means I can feel jealous, insecure, all those shitty feelings that come at times, and I'm going to go through my own process with them, and my partner is not to condemn me for having those feelings. And to be able to share those with the other person, it's edgy territory. It's not easy to do. But when you do share honestly, completely honestly, what your experience is, it can also be so healing for that partnership. And it's rare to be completely honest about who you are and to stretch yourself to let your partner do the same. And you may not like what you hear. And in fact, it may trigger the hell out of you. But to be willing to be triggered, if it means your partner can be authentic, that is super powerful. Let them being themselves. And again, if it's not the right relationship for you, if it's not the healthy relationship for you, growth has come first. And sometimes that growth, those hard, shitty feelings, it's better to stay in that and stay in the relationship and to grow inside of it. And sometimes it means separating. But you only know it's sort of like, I think of, this radical honesty. It's if every person knew that their partner was cheating on them when they would actually have the own free will to know their own reality around them and decide if it's for them to stay or to leave. And that's their own process. They get to have their own free will around that. Now, number 4, the relationship is a place to practice love. Love ultimately is a practice. It's a practice of acceptance, of being present, forgiveness, and stretching your heart into vulnerable territories. Sometimes we treat love like it's a destination. We want that peak feeling all of the time. And when it's not there, we're not satisfied with what the relationship has become. In my mind, this is missing the whole point of love. Love is a journey, an exploration. It's showing up for all the varied nuances of the relationship and asking yourself, what would love do here? And the answer is going to be different every time. What will love do here is always going to be different. And it's your own internal guidance around love. And for me, you might have heard me with my definition of love. My definition of love is it's the constant process of removing the ego, everything that's holding you back from more deeply connecting with another person. Your fears, your judgments. It's the things that are holding you back from being the most pure, perfect version of yourself. And yes, we are all perfect in every moment. But you know what I mean of those conditions and the external stimuli, and sometimes even that the brain fog that overcomes you. It's removing all of that while at the same time increasing your acts of sharing, ever increasing acts of sharing. So removing of the ego and ever increasing acts of sharing, because you give to who you love. And that to me is the true essence of love. So yes, I hope this episode was helpful to you in some way. And to me, why I do share this podcast with you, what's most of interest to me is being with you in person and seeing the web being being woven of the human connection industry and us coming together to be in the state of practice of love. I say these 4 principles are for a conscious relationship. However, everybody within the WeDeepen ecosystem is invited to participate. I mean, these are our values. Again, I'm going to repeat them. The conscious couple is not attached to the outcome of the relationship. Growth comes first. Each person in the relationship is committed to owning their shit. All feelings are welcome and no internal process is condemned. The relationship is a place to practice love. So go check out the calendar, WeDeepen.com. Click on that link. You'll see this new network. You'll sign up for the network, create a member profile. There's a membership directory there inside of the system. You'll be able to direct message other people who are going to the experiences that you're journeying through as well. And we're going to expand to include some spaces where we can talk together on the topic of relationships and love and conflict resolution and where to go dancing and have fun and play and the spaces that we live together and share and community. I've been also thinking as we saw, Roe versus Wade being overturned last week, I continue to think, like, why are we listening to these people? You do not have to listen to anybody. And although it seems like, yes, of course we do, but we can formulate our own villages and come together and share our own resources in community. You don't really need them. And just on that same topic, because I do produce Feminine Weapon yearly, Feminine Weapon Day is January 30th. January 30th, 2023 will be actually the 10th annual Feminine Weapon Day. And that event itself has raised now over $70,000 for children of abuse, extreme poverty, and human trafficking. And I just continue to think, why is nobody talking? There are 150 million orphans worldwide. There are over 80 million children living without a single parent. Love is really the answer to all of our world's problems. And if we are bringing children into the world who aren't able to have the experience of love, of being brought into loving families, then why do it at all? And I think we need to band together so we can actually feel that sense of love and we can recreate our villages. And that's one of the things that I am proud of WeDeepen, of to curate some of the greatest experiences and facilitators that have helped me and are known for helping others. The testimonials and reviews are beyond. And all of the experiences that we list there do go through an approval process, and we do have a reputation system that we're building into it so that these experiences can be held or hold a high standard of the human connection industry. That's my ramble for today. Thank you all for listening to this episode of Deepen with Christina as I continue to deepen further and further and share my journey vulnerably with you and invite you into it. Someone once said to me years ago, Christina, it's fun that we get to watch you. We can tell that you have no clue what you're doing, but you let us watch you do it anyway. And this is true. You're in this experience with me as I don't vouch for knowing everything. Yes, I am an Aries and I can be stubborn at times. But I am right there doing the programs with you and learning with you. And whether we're the same age or you're younger or older, each of you are my teachers and each of you are my students. We are all that for each other. If you do enjoy this podcast, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, send me a message, tell me more. What guest would you like me to interview? And what would you like me to talk about? If there's something that you would like to know about me, or to dive into, or even experiences that you suggest that we include in WeDeepen, or maybe you see something for the business that we haven't seen. We are totally open. We want to collaborate. Collaborate is the new collateral. So reach out, and let's continue this journey together. Okay. Again, go to that calendar, WeDeepen.com. And until next time, continue to deepen. I love you all. Bye for now.